most effective speaker, book, trainer, coach, what have you, is the person that is able to help people tap in and recognize their own genius. More importantly, get them to act on it. They get results. They then credit the speaker, the book, the trainer, but the reality is they're just tapping into their own genius.
You take any group of people and you can subdivide them into 3 groups. Top 10%, bottom 10%, majority 80%. Top 10, bottom 10, majority 80. Let me define each group for you.
The top 10 are there because they want to be. They show up early, they leave late, they never complain. These are the people, when you say jump, they say how high while they're in the air.
You know, those are the people that are so motivated and excited about life, it's annoying. They wake up in the morning, they go look at themselves in the mirror, and they get jealous. Look at you. That's your top 10. On the other end of the spectrum here, we have your bottom 10. Who are they? Those are the people that have to be there. They go late, they leave early. They're always complaining.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It always rains when I go golfing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My spouse caught me cheating. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right? You got your top 10, you got your bottom 10, and you got a big chunk in the middle called the majority 80. By their definition, they will go to whichever group is more empowered. Whichever group is stronger, has more social influence and accolades, will either shift up the majority 80 or shift them down. So if you're part of an organization where the top 10 is revered, where success is rewarded, where you're given pats on the back and accolades, this is called a dynamic organization. Because the top 10 gets empowered, the majority 80 follows. If you're part of an organization where the bottom 10 is revered, where it's cool to cut the corners, to cheat, to lie, to steal, that is called government. Oh, sorry, that's that's called a static organization. Because what happens is the bottom 10 get empowered, they suck the life out of the majority 80, and the organization goes nowhere. So the question is this: if you're in a position of influence and you're trying to gather the group to move toward a common direction, who does it make most sense to target? The top 10, the bottom 10, or the majority 80?
So the core underlying philosophy of everything I do is based on something called the 10-80-10 principle. It's a trademark that basically, in its simplest form, talks about focusing on your strengths. So I work with organizations or individuals to help them understand and recognize what their strengths are and then leverage them to improve their performance. I can think of 2 or 3 clients that I've had for over 15 years in a row every year. And the theme that kept on coming up was, I'm easy to work with. And they said, well, for one thing, you always do a fantastic job. I said, great, but that doesn't mean I'm easy to work with. They said, no, but you know, you always show up an hour early. And I kind of looked at them confused, going, well, what else would I do? And they said, well, we've hired many other speakers, and that's not the norm. I would rather be 3 hours early than 1 minute late. I've given out over 40,000 of these cards, and this is what I've been doing for the last 17 years. It's about brand, remember? I want to make the person who brought me in, I want to make that person look like a hero.